People who cheat are driven by a desire for sexual variety that probably in males help to increase progeny. But other individuals cheat, for example, to mate switch, to obtain a different mate. They're with one woman and they want to be with a different woman, and the infidelity is the way that they facilitate that. And that's true of women as well.
Why not just break up first?
David Buss has a funny quote on this. He said, why would you quit your job before looking for a new one? Why would you dump your partner before seeing what else is out there?
Right.
Women and men both mate switch, and some scientists think that the main reason women cheat is to mate switch.
What is the research saying on why women cheat?
Again, it's similar to men where we have these many functions. So women and men both cheat to mate switch to an extent. Women and men both cheat to, frankly, get revenge on their partners for infidelity. And there's some published research that indicates that women might be more likely to cheat for revenge. And it's an open debate as to whether that's a genuine psychological tendency or whether it's just that they get cheated on more, and so they have more opportunities to actually pursue that strategy.
Sure.
In some societies, such as the Himba of Namibia, this is an agro-pastoralist group. They have incredible rates of infidelity, much higher than we see in the West. Incredibly high rates of women's infidelity. The main reason, based on a few studies from Brooke Schelze and Sean Prowl, their work indicates that in that socio-ecological setting, the primary reason that women cheat is to obtain multiple investors. Now, we see women cheat for multiple investors in the West as well, but it looks a little different, right? This would be the case where the woman is dating one guy, right, and he's provisioning benefits to her in various ways, but maybe she's got kind of a sugar daddy type relationship on the side as well. And it's like boyfriends do lots of good things for you. And so if you have multiple boyfriends, you can have more of those good things, right?
Right.
Awesome. Oh, Stacey, what do you think about this? What do you think about Mac's
gnarly.
explanation?
Right.
So for those of you guys who want to check out Mac and Murphy, he is an expert on cheating. Like that's one of the main things he goes over. He talks about it a lot. He's probably
Now
the first guy.
I'll just full disclosure here. This interview happened before his own research that went and showed that it was actually
that's a couple of haircuts
they were
ago.
actually looking for hotter partners.
Awesome. All right, cool. What do you think, Stacey?
Yeah, that was gnarly. I know there's some truth in that. But again, yes, a lot of men cheat first, and sometimes women do get revenge.
Yeah.
That's also, side note, another reason why a lot of women are forced to wait later is because the men, when they're younger, are shit
Wait
cheaters.
later to have kids. Is that what you're saying?
Because if the
Start
woman
at 45.
no, and again, that's not what I said. Is that women need to wait till they're 50? I'm saying that if you have to wait, which is because a lot of men in their 20s are shit cheaters and assholes or steroid or this and that, and the woman has the intent of bringing a man's clone into the world. I'm not going to give you 18 years to life if you cheat on me and you show me that you're an evil man. I'm forced to wait after that. That's what I'm saying.
Do you think most men cheat?
Well, I think a lot of men cheat, but again, like I'm saying, it depends on the man.
Of men do you think
well, I don't think that you can take the percentage just by asking someone, because a lot of people lie, and some men, like I said before, are just born ethical, and they do want a woman and one woman. They're a one woman man, and a lot of women are one man women. So if you have the intent, like I have had, to just be a one man woman, and then constantly over and over you show years to someone and they show you that they're evil after a couple of years, you do not want to reproduce their seed and give them 18 years to life. That's why I said women should not panic if they just don't have it.
Stacey, is it possible that most men don't cheat, but those most men, you're not interested in them? Is that a possibility?
Well, you said, is it possible that most men... Wait, say it again. Say it again. Wait, say it again. I didn't hear you. Say it again. Say it again.
Is it possible that most men actually don't cheat?
Sure.
Well, in most cases, because they can't cheat, they don't even have the opportunity to.
Absolutely.
But you aren't interested in those men.
Well, that is on both sides. Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's not really. The average
it is
man,
on both sides.
The average man is very much interested in the average woman. The average woman is not interested in the average man.
And tell me what average is to you again, so I can give you an example.
If I were to take dating profiles of 1 million people and stratify them by the ones that get the most right swipes, the ones that get the fewest, and take the people in the very middle, the average men are very much interested in the average woman. They're going to right swipe more than half the time. Okay. The average women are not going to right swipe on the average men. They're going to right swipe on the top 20% of men.
Okay. And
right? So I'm saying it's not, but I'm saying it's not the same for both. What I'm saying, most men don't have the ability to cheat because they have no opportunity. Most guys, if they go out tonight, like it is really hard for if any of these guys right here, if they were going for a girl that they found attractive, the likelihood of them meeting them and having sex on them the same night for the average guy is below 3%, 2%, maybe 1%. Now, if he goes out every night, or if he knows what he's doing, or if he has game, or he has a social circle, it could be much higher than that. But for the average guy, it's very low. Like I'm talking about a senior airman stationed in Alaska going out to a bar. Yeah. We're talking like 1%. bro. It's really low.
I also believe that most men are actually good men. So I'm definitely not blaming.
Agreed. But by the way, I'm
going
to say something will blow your mind. I think guys who cheat are also good men too sometimes.
They are, and that's why they initially date the female, because she initially thinks he's a good man, and then later she'll find out that he's a piece of shit, and that's why she cannot reproduce his seed.
I don't. Okay, well, we can get into the reasons why people cheat. Maybe this maybe not always because they're a piece of shit. But my point is it possible that most men don't cheat and you aren't interested in those men?
It's possible that I, as a single person, yes, because again, women, you can't plot what they like. You don't know what they like, and you know that.
Stacey, you're also attractive enough to have standards.
Yeah, and I have standards,
and
starting with ethics. Starting with ethics.
While I believe that you believe
not
that,
height.
While I believe that you believe that, I do also believe there's a certain minimum level of physical attractiveness you need in order to find someone attractive, and that does not start with ethics.
Yes, and it doesn't start, but nobody also knows my type. So I've met women more attractive that I think are way more attractive.
You already told me before the show that KJ's your type.
I know females that are more attractive than me. I know females that are more attractive than me. I just think I'm okay, right? I think I'm average, but I know women that are more attractive than me that are attracted to ugly guys that I think are ugly. And I'm like, bitch, you dating this guy? And then she's like, yeah, I don't know. I just like it. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not always the attractiveness. And for women,
I'm sitting right here.
Let's go around. Have you been cheated on by a guy?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Okay. In my 20s.
Have you been cheated on by a guy?
Absolutely.
Right, talking to the mic.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Alexandra, have you
been cheated on by a guy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Also, it damages the female psyche.
KJ, go ahead.
So but then I think you should also ask: have you guys cheated on men? You should also ask.
Have you guys ever?
We'll get to that. Yeah,
Stacey, have you ever cheated on someone?
Never. I would never cheated on a man, and I will never cheat on a man. And before I think about it, I will break up with him, and that's always been my ethic since I was like 19.
Frenchie,
yeah.
Have you ever cheated on a guy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We're not talking about.
Half an hour.
You ever cheated on a guy?
Yes.
Okay. You have? Have you ever cheated on a guy? No? Okay.
Okay. So what I want to say is, like, I mean, me being monogamous and loyal now for like the past 3 years, and before that just being a fuckboy and cheating on almost everyone, I don't think you can figure that out what someone is doing. So, like, for example, if let's say I'm someone's type, and it just depends when you're meeting me. Also, there's a lot of inner work that went into it. So why I used to cheat was because, I mean, my parents are separated. That left a huge mark on me when I grew up. And I didn't even know that, it's bad. And I never felt guilty of cheating on anyone till the time they would find out. Because then they'd feel like shit. So I don't think you can categorize men as men are going to cheat or not going to cheat. It just depends. Like, research is cool with percentages and everything. But then it comes down to the man that you're dating. Because he's not just a statistic, he's a human being. Correct. So like I've changed over the years and I don't plan on cheating at all. But then I've been cheated on by women as well. So I think what he says sort of makes sense, but then we should not be generalizing about just everybody is going to be like that.
He's not, but he's going over reasons why.
Yeah.
The airline pilot. Go ahead, James.
Go ahead.
I'm going to let you write the trope here.
The AIDS that we have, aviation-induced divorce syndrome.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit of it. I think, men, I agree with you. There's a small percentage of men that have the opportunity.
Yeah.
And the guys that are married, that's the trap that they fall into is as if you're a successful guy and you're married and you have a wife and you've got kids, you become even more attracted to more women.
Yes.
Which ups the opportunity for guys to do it, and guys will cheat, but it's not in it. Like they want to stay married. They didn't want to, they took the opportunity, but it meant nothing to them.
Sure.
They did it for the variety. They did it because they could, some sort of needy issue. So it does happen, but it's up to the guy to try. He's controlling the relationship, and it's up to the guy to maintain the standard. Some guys will do it all. My wife loses interest in me. We know that after the kids are old enough, the wife's focused on the kids and she has less desire for him, but that's his responsibility to maintain that level of respect from her. And
I agree with that. But sometimes one of the problems is like if you just do everything she says, then she's going to lose respect for you. It's quite the opposite from being in the workforce.
No, you don't get one-itis and pedestalize or simp for
it.
Listen,
you
maintain
the reason in Adam and Eve in the book of Genesis, the reason why God was mad at Adam wasn't because he ate from the tree of knowledge. It's because he listened to Eve. God told Adam what to do, and then Adam decided to listen to Eve. That's why he was mad. Actually, why he was mad.
It's even in the scripture. It says, because you listened to your wife and ate of the apple. Like, no, that came first.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, it's an interesting thing. I mean, there's a bunch of different statistics when it comes to that. But to your point, there is a group of men that, like, for instance, with women, like the top 5% of women have about 16 sexual partners. The top 1% have 35. For men, the top 5% have 50 sexual partners. The top 1% have 150. So it doesn't quite match up. It seems like the men at the top have so many more options. Only about, if you're the top 10% of men in the United States, you make $134,000 a year. Top 5%, I think you're in the $318,000 a year, something like that. And the top 1%, it's like $819,000, somewhere around there. The point is, those men at the top have so many more options than other men. So when we say, hey, my husband doesn't cheat, it's like your husband is an assistant manager at Walmart. Of course he doesn't cheat. And I hear women say this all the time. And the other one that my favorite is my boyfriend doesn't have an Instagram because he's loyal and because he works at it. No, your boyfriend has a wife and kids and doesn't want you to know about it. The worst dudes are the ones that don't have an IG.
Yeah. It just comes down to the personal ethics and like what type of a guy you are. Like, what you're saying, I 100% agree with that. But then what you're also saying is there will be enough men in the top 1% who would not cheat just because they have options.
The higher your income it was Satoshi Kanazawa said, the higher your intelligence is, the more likely you are to make more money, and the more likely you are to cheat. Like it's one of these situations, but more opportunities presented. It's
opportunistic.
Yeah, but then I don't think that's like
again. It's not binary, but percentage wise. If you lived at the Playboy Mansion, you're more likely to fuck a playmate. That's just how the world works. And like this idea, so there's this group of men at the top who have a lot of sexual partners. There's a group of men below them that wish they had more sexual partners. And the main difference is this, right? So there's like three main differences, dimorphic differences between men and women. There's quite a few. One of them is upper body strength and grip strength. It's like 2 standard deviations more for men than it is for women. Another one is men's fascination with status and women's fascination with men's status. Women are not as concerned with their status as much as men are. But third, and this is the greatest difference, is the median man is in the top 1% as far as the desire for sexual variety. Meaning the median man wants as many sexual partners as the top 1% of women. Do you guys understand? It's like 1, 2, or 3%.
Unlimited access to unlimited sexual.
Correct. So it's like that is the biggest difference. Is women's desire for a variety of sexual partners comes nowhere near men do. And if you guys want to read The Evolution of Desire, he talks about men in the Castro with 300 sexual partners in a year. That's when there is no female selectivity, men will sleep with 200 and 300 people in a year. So that's a massive difference.
Another reason why loads of women wait longer, because loads of men are nasty.
They're all dogs.
Which so here's the response to that, and I've heard this from CJ Sparks, my buddy. She's like, I like dating older men because they're old and tired and they don't want to fight as much.
They don't fight.
That's what she says.
They don't fight.
They don't fight you back as much. They have more money and they don't fight as much. Well, here's the interesting thing: because of TRT, they do fight as much. I have the exact same libido that I had when I was 19.
That's awesome, and I
No, it's great, but it goes back to your problem, because now what happens is the guy that you were waiting for later on when he's in his 50s and he's moral is just as horny as he was when he's 19. Except now he's smarter, funnier, more charismatic, better networked, and has a lot more money. So that's the problem.
But
Wait,
I wouldn't get too excited.
He's basically James Kilgore right here.
I got enough.
He's got books of mahogany. That's what he's got.
My gypsy princess. Why do you think men cheat?
Opportunistic.
But
what I kind of wanted to add in was when they mentioned multiple boyfriends. So women cheat, and I looked into a lot of polyandry. So having multiple boyfriends, they're like partners for women. And my perspective on it is that women want multiple partners, or they cheat when that one man can't necessarily satisfy or check all the boxes. So they.
Do you think that that's why men cheat as well, or is it just opportunism?
Opportunistic.
So you think it's just opportunism? Okay. Why do you think men cheat?
I think that status definitely has a lot to do with it. When you are making more money, it brings you more opportunities. Maybe your game's a little better because you're more confident with money. So with that, it kind of gives you more options, and you maybe are bored. I feel like that's kind of.
Alexandra, why do you think guys cheat?
Because their partner is not enough for them.
There you go.
Nice. Interesting.
Finally, somebody said it.
Raise your hand if you agree with this statement. Is it possible for a man to cheat on his wife and for it to mean nothing? Meaning the cheating meant nothing. The sex meant nothing. It's interesting. The guys, we raise our hand quickly. Is it possible for a man to have sex with a woman that isn't his wife and for it to mean actually, not just in his mind, but it to actually mean nothing? Anyone think that? Okay, some of you don't believe
What do you mean nothing? Like it wasn't. So even if it's a sexual experience, that sexual experience can still, it might not be emotional, but it's gratification in that sense. And that should be between
but he doesn't think about it ever again. It means absolutely nothing there.
There's no feels.
It's like
he's going to think about it. If it was good.
Yeah, it's like masturbation.
It's really good.
He isn't going to care at all. No, not at all. Like if you could understand, I'm not saying that all sex for men is emotionless. What I'm saying is the emotionless sex for men is so emotionless. I don't think you could possibly understand how little it means to us when we're talking about
I can give you one.
He's not going to think about it later and be like turned on by it.
I can give you one primary example. Guys don't agonize over it when they rub one out to porn.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't think
so it's
about that.
vaginal masturbation.
They're not thinking, that's
what it is.
I really,
it's vaginal
I could really see myself
awesome.
with this porn star right here going off into the future and having a baby with her and being married and
but he's
meeting her folks.
He's not fantasizing when he's doing that about the prior experience that he had with her.
That's the compartmentalization.
But there are girls that he got drunk at a bar off a military base, and he's not fantasizing about her because she wasn't even hot. Okay. And he had sex with her, and she wasn't even attractive. It was a Tuesday, and it was whatever.
It was a bodily function.
As Justin Waller says, 80 or 280, he doesn't give a fuck, right? That's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't think women understand. Like, I think women understand that men can care less about sex than they do. I just don't think you understand the extent to which sex can be meaningless for men.
I don't. I understand it absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Like if girls who are stripped, I guarantee you, if Nara Ford was here, she would be like, yeah, because I asked her about this. She was stripping at the Rhino for a while, and I asked her about this. She's like, I am fully aware of how men are from working at the Rhino for a while. Like, they actually do still love their wives, but they just want big titties in their face, and it is utterly and totally meaningless to them. And it's like, it's hard for women to understand. Now, I don't know if that makes things better or worse, but when guys say, she didn't mean anything to me, a lot of times, ladies, it's true. That's why he's saying that. It really is true. And while it can be true for women, it's less true. Just like you're confused by it, none of the guys here are confused by it. None of these guys here are confused. Whenever I have conversations with only men, I ask the same question. Like, do you believe a man can have sex with someone who isn't his wife and completely still love his wife and his kids? And without hesitation, 100% of the guys raise their hand. And the reason why is because we have 17 times as much testosterone as you do, and we know horny. Not like you know horny, real horny. Like put your dick in a wall horny. Like fuck a watermelon horny. Like real horny. Like you think you understand, you don't understand. Like men killing other men over women horny.
Let me get Frenchie in here. Frenchie, why do you think men cheat?
Oh, there's always going to be a void somewhere, whether that void be opportunity or I agree with the same thing, but a void can mean anything. So I think men cheat because they're just looking for that thing their wife, their girlfriend cannot fill. So with me, if we're running sex parties, swingers parties, BDSM, men are usually there cheating on their wives because their wife is not good enough or they cannot provide what they are looking for, whatever that void is. Sexual needs, however they are just as a person, like, oh, you know what? My wife isn't like this. I need you to provide this for me, but I could find it here. So whatever this void is, I do think men cheat.
The demographic, the male and female demographic at your like swingers parties, what are they like?
Like, what do you mean?
What's the avatar for the woman who goes to those and the man who goes to those?
Oh, it's mainly always men.
Well, I'm sure, but you got to have some women in there, right?
Yeah, and usually, usually they have like their wives there, and it's where you kind of were saying like men can cheat and it'll mean nothing. So these
I
women
think in a sex party, none of that's cheating, right?
Yeah,
it's all consensual.
It's definitely at that point where women are just like, you know what, I can agree this means nothing because there's probably something at this party that can provide you something I can't bring to you.
But I also think that's the reason why most people don't go to swingers parties is because most women do still attach some emotionality to sex.
Oh yeah, 100%, and they're probably just afraid to like see that.
Okay,
like,
so I'm curious from your standpoint, have you witnessed the first time a man witnessed his wife having sex with another man for the first time?
Oh yeah,
okay,
all the time.
And what's that like?
Most people are already with it. I've never seen someone's like first time just like, hey, here's my wife, go fuck my wife. I've never really seen that because I think it's already been planned, talked about beforehand, before coming to this party, before this gathering.
Yeah.
So the first time I haven't even witnessed that, and
you've never seen. It's never been weird or awkward when they.
No, it's always been definitely talked about before.
So I have a friend of mine. She goes to like Negril for the swingers parties there. She said it was like 4 couples, so 4 guys, 4 girls, and there was one guy that the other 4 girls didn't find attractive, and they're like, I don't want him to have sex with me.
Oh yeah.
Does that happen at these events also?
Oh yeah.
So the idea you come to a sex party with your wife, and every man wants to have sex with your wife, but the women don't want to have sex with you. That happens a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So how does that work out?
Usually they'd be like, nope, sorry, you're not touching my wife. Or a woman will literally just be like, nope, you're not touching me.
So there's dudes that dudes that get left out.
Oh yeah, 100%.
While they're watching their wives have sex with other men.
Yeah.
What a country. What a fucking country. Where did I sign up for this shit? That sounds amazing.
Gigi, why do guys cheat? Why?
Why do guys cheat?
Yeah.
Well, it's like you said, like the super horniness, which I personally do understand, and I've always kind of understood. I mean, I would explain when I was single in my 30s. I'm still in my 30s, but being single in my 30s, I would explain my sexual appetite as ravenous. Like, I don't know another word for it other than like hypersexuality.
You don't have it for anyone. My point is like you don't want to build $1 billion business to impress women type of horny. Like that's the type of like Jeff Bezos overcome everything type of horny. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. But I also understand, the horniness of a man. But I do think that some men also underestimate the horniness of women, because I do know firsthand being hypersexual and like I don't mean this weirdly, but when I was single and if I saw a man I was attracted to, and would go multiple places and see multiple men I was attracted to, because I love men. I love men. I love them as a brilliant creature. However, I would describe it as I would rape them. Like when I was single in my 30s, my earlier 30s. So I would totally rape a dude. Like that's how hypersexual and like ravenous I would fucking rip his clothes off. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
So I do understand.
But you don't do that anymore.
Well, having someone.
Nobody's asking. Nobody's asking.
Boyfriend, I don't have to.
Oh, you have a boyfriend now?
Yeah, correct. So I don't have to.
And he has no
feel
agency.
That way.
He just told when and where to.
I've worn dudes out before, so I do, trust me, I understand. Like, don't underestimate the hypersexuality of a female. I do understand, but also, like, honestly, I grew up as a tomboy, so I kind of speak half dude, so I get it. Like, I get it, But I do, yes, men cheat for multiple reasons. But if you're gonna cheat, don't get married. Like, marriage is a sacred union. Like, have some fucking decorum.
She's the only one that said because the guy's not getting it at home.
Yeah,
or he's getting drip fed sex
once
a month.
The woman's fucking up. So
well, that's I think if I don't know, maybe I should have pulled the guys in the room too, but I think most guys would say it's because there's a deficit there. They're in a dry spell and they're married or have a girlfriend and they're in a dry spell.
Click the link in the description and I'll send you an exclusive invite to my elite networking community where you can learn to date high quality women today.